Grady.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I echo the words of the honourable member for Crawley. There is a small amount of consensus on the concession that the Government has made today towards the members of the Chagosian community. But if the Government is willing to listen to the House of Lords at long last to correct that historical injustice, why isn't it willing to listen to it on all the other points? It appears to be the exception that proves the rule. We in the SNP hold no torch for their Lordship's House. But if you're a defender of the Lords and you stand up for the check it's supposed to provide on the decisions of the elected chamber, then why is everything else being dismissed out of hand? Why is the Government not willing to accept Lord's Amendment 5 and put the 1951 Refugee Convention on the face of the bill, which it says it accepts and it always acts in accord with? But of course the reality is very different. The gap between its rhetoric about respecting the Convention and the reality of wanting to turn arriving in the UK from a war zone into a crime, which is why the Government should also, which is why the House should also support Lord's Amendments 6 and 11. Ministers have yet to explain, despite being asked several times in this debate, how the United Kingdom, which is surrounded by water, can ever possibly be the first safe country of arrival for someone seeking asylum without proper paperwork. Political human rights defenders from Eritrea are not provided with exit visas and passports by their government. They have to run across the border at night in case they get shot. And then hope to God that they can get to a safe country like the United Kingdom where there is already an expat community. But then this freedom-loving, democracy-defending, global Britain is great Tory government wants to turn them into criminals, which is exactly what they were fleeing in the first place. And exactly how putting asylum seekers into the prison system in this country represents value for money for the taxpayers is just completely beyond me. Which is why, in fact, what the House should be doing is voting to retain Lord's Amendment 7 and extending the right to work for asylum seekers. Because as if the current system is not dehumanising enough for individual asylum seekers, being denied the right to work actively harms the wider society. Let them pay tax. Let them contribute to our economy and industries that are crying out for staff. Let them use their skills and talents to benefit everyone. Even, I believe, some members in the Tory backbenches are finally being persuaded of this, and I want to pay particular tribute to the Maryhill Integration Network based in Glasgow North for championing this amendment and becoming not just a provider of vital services to the local migrant population, but an authoritative voice on the national voice on the rights of refugees and asylum seekers. And the House should also support Lord Alton's amendments, one of the finest minds and voices in the upper chambers that seeks to ensure applicants for asylum who are at risk of being killed in genocide can claim asylum in the UK. It provides exactly the kind of safe and legal route the Government says it wants to see, and it was supported by former Tory Cabinet Ministers in the House of Lords, and yet once again the Government wants to reject it because it's clear that this Government is determined to strip away from the bill any vestige of compassion or recognition of vulnerability on the part of asylum seekers that the Lords have managed to shoehorn into it. Well, I hope the Government is made to work for it. I hope we divide on every single motion before us tonight, and that when they have to cancel their evening dinners and their receptions and all their other engagements this evening, they think about what it must be like to travel in a small boat, to be in the hands of people traffickers. No one chooses that. No one is so desperate to come to the Tories' land of milk and honey. People they're forced into this kind of thing. I'm not going to give way because we're out of time and this Government is out of ideas and out of compassion. But in recent weeks, they've shown, in response to the situation and complaint, people in Scotland, people across the United Kingdom, don't want to put up barriers to people fleeing war, famine and disasters caused by a climate emergency that we in the West created. They want to show solidarity and compassion. They want to say it loud and say it clear that refugees are welcome here.